Hello, Sarah. How are you? And hello, Mohammed. Hello, hi-oh. Which of these words are more commonly used in daily life? Impractical, sensible, and realistic? All three of those are used in daily life. If something is impractical, it's the opposite of being practical, right? This is not practical, it's impractical. Sensible is very similar to practical. It makes sense, you know? So, and realistic, is it realistic? So they're all three are very common, and you should learn them all. You should use them all. Do I practice American football? No, I do not. So today, everybody, is you can ask me any question you want, but today I was thinking we'd do something a little bit differently. I don't know. I wanted to try to see if people would like to try to do just some advice questions. You know, not just English. Maybe we just talk about something. You know, maybe you're having trouble with something, or you don't understand something, or you're confused by something, or something about your personal development. Hello, Sakshi. I'm fine. GHD, best advice you can give to someone? What is GHD? I don't speak abbreviations. All right. I'm not even sure what that means. If you came here to talk about me and what I look like, just shut up. Okay? I don't want to hear about anything you have to say about what I look like. All right? I don't care if you think I'm tall, short, fat, thin, loud, soft. I don't care about what you think about me. So save it. Okay? I'm not here to hear any of that. Okay? And if you do, I'll probably just kick you out. Okay, David? I don't turn on the camera to be insulted, David. All right? Maybe you just are, I'll just be funny. But I don't turn on the camera to be insulted. I don't turn on the camera to have people laugh at me. I can't see you. That's not very fair, is it? You can see me, but I can't see you. Okay? So, I expect better. I expect better. If you want to act like a child, then go find another live stream. Okay? And you should be a little more careful about the way you speak. Because you don't know if someone will be upset or will be offended I am not upset or offended. I just am annoyed. There's a difference. I'm not upset. I'm not offended. I'm just annoyed. It's just annoying when you turn on the camera and people comment about your looks. You know, that's not why I'm here. Okay? All right, so fair enough, David. You said my fault. I will accept that as an apology, and now let's move on. Okay? All right, so let's see. The first question for me today is switching jobs a positive growth in a career or a decline? Sarah, well, that really does depend on two things. One is on what job you're switching to. Certainly, there are certain jobs that you could switch to that would definitely be a step down and wouldn't benefit you, you know, if you're trying to move forward in your career, right? So there are definitely moves that are downward moves that are not always good for you. However, Sarah, what I would say is I have found that people want their career path to be a straight line, but a career path is very, very rarely a straight line. So that means that sometimes you do one career and then you kind of jump off to this side and you think it's very different. But the things you learn benefit you, and then they help you along the path forward. And they make you a more, more versatile person because you've had more experiences, right? So, and then the other thing it depends on is your perspective about jobs. What is the purpose of the job? Is the purpose of the job strictly to make money? Is that what you're basing your idea about positivity? So this job makes more money and this job makes less money, so this is a positive move and this is a negative move? That's not always the way it works. Sometimes one job might pay a lot more money, but it might be a much worse job. You know, maybe the stress is too high. Maybe you have to move. Maybe you just have a bad boss who you don't like, right? So not every move in your career path, not every move is about positive or negative, and not every move is a straight line. Okay? How do self-love or improvement for, how can we love ourselves more? Sakshi, the way you can love yourself more is to know yourself more. Do you know yourself? Have you ever thought about yourself? Have you ever considered yourself? Have you ever thought about, why am I this way? Should I be this way? Can I be better? That's really what if you don't talk to yourself, if you don't think about it, if you don't consider it, then how can you improve it? So self-improvement begins with self-examination. Okay? So that's what I would say. Examine yourself. All right? There's a Brazilian teacher that says you have to listen to English at least 8 hours every day. What do I think about that? I think anybody who says things like that, you must listen at least 8 hours every day. No, you don't. Could you? Sure, you can. And if you did, it might help. But it depends on what you're listening to for 8 hours, right? Maybe you're listening to 8 hours of the Three Stooges. I don't know that will help you. That's English. But if you watch the Three Stooges for 8 hours, I love the Three Stooges. I think they're hilarious, but I don't think that's going to help you too much. All right? So what I would say, Flavia, is anytime you hear people talking about you must do this many hours, if they give you a certain number, that's never right because everybody's different. So you can't say a blanket number of hours. Sometimes you can use proportions. Like I have told my students before that many years ago, my drum teacher told me that if I have a lesson, a private lesson with him once a week, and that's 30 minutes, then that means that every day I should be practicing at least twice that much. So if the lesson is 30 minutes once a week, that means I should be practicing at least 1 hour every day. Now that's a proportion. Proportions are more valuable than just straight numbers. 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. That has no value because you don't know what you're doing for that amount of time, one. And for two, because it's not about how much you do, it's not about quantity, it's about quality, right? So 2 hours of good practice is better than 8 hours of just listening without paying attention, okay? What's the difference between include and involve? Ruslan, let me think about my answer for a moment. Let me look at something. Okay, so it is a little bit hard to understand, but include is talking about something that's part of a whole or part of a group, right? So maybe we're having a discussion at my table, right? We're having a discussion and I see another student and he looks interested. So I say, would you like to join us? Would you like to be included in the discussion, right? Would you like to be included? Okay. Now, if he says, yes, I would like to be included, what does that involve? That means he's now asking, what do I need to do to be included? Right? So inclusion and exclusion. Let's look at the etymology. Include comes from the Latin word includere, which means to shut in, enclose. So let's see, in and shut. So include actually is like to close something in, inside. Okay? So you're part of the group. You're in the group, right? Involve is more like a part of a movement, an action, something that's a requirement of that thing. Let me look at involve. Involve, involvere, which means to roll into. One moment. Interesting. To include. Right. So involving is more like, what does this entail? What things do you need to do? Okay. Include is more like to be a part of something, right? Include and exclude. Okay. You have a problem with fluency, how to improve it. Miriam, I don't know what that means. When you say, I have a problem with fluency, what problem? You're not fluent? Okay, but what does that mean? Do you have enough vocabulary? Did you study grammar? Do you know enough pronunciation? Have you done enough listening? Have you done enough writing? Have you practiced speaking enough? Do you know how to think in English well? So when you say you have a problem with fluency, fluency is you don't feel comfortable with the language. That's why you're not fluent. So if you are not fluent, you are not comfortable. Why? Which parts of the language are you not comfortable with? That's what you need to work on. So how can you improve it? Figure out which parts of language are not comfortable for you and then focus on those. Okay? Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Cheryl. Cheryl, I do live streams Monday through Friday. That's when I'm usually here. How can you think fluently and speak quickly? Don't speak quickly. Speak well. Never, never, never consider how fast you speak. Only consider how well you speak. Language has no speed. So please stop trying to speak fast. Just try to speak well. I'm not speaking fast. So why do you need to? You are wrong when you say people who speak well speak fast. No. People who speak well speak well. Speed has nothing to do with it. Okay? And yes, I think 8 hours is too much also, in general. Although, it's listening, which is a passive activity, Flavia, so listening to English for 8 hours could be very easy if you're doing it like, I'll listen to a couple of podcasts, I'll watch a movie and a couple of TV shows. That's 8 hours, okay? Cheryl says quality and quantity together. Well, sure, Cheryl, that's great. However, every student has a limit to their mental endurance. How much can they study before they're too tired? It's called diminishing returns. Diminishing returns means that there is a point where if you go too far and do too much, you're actually not getting a benefit. You're getting a deficiency, right? So there does come a point where you study so much that you're too tired and now your studying is not effective, right? So quality and quantity don't usually go together, okay? So I can tell that many of you are new because you're asking all the same questions that all the new people ask. So, Miriam, I have a blog, and on my blog, I have an article, and it is called The Complete Guide to Thinking in English, Why Fluency is a Myth. Here it is, Miriam. Go read that article. I have another article here about how to learn vocabulary. Go read that. And I have another article here about the 8 parts of language. Go read that. Okay? And then, Miriam, the secret of practicing without a partner is to practice thinking. If you can't think in the language, then how can you speak the language? Right? So you have to practice thinking it. Make the language live comfortably in your mind. If the language is not living comfortably in your mind, then it's a problem. Okay? You have a question, for example, once order placed. Is this correct? No, it's not correct. It could be once an order is placed or once the order is placed, but you're missing a couple of words. You need the words the and is. Okay, once the order is placed or once an order is placed. Okay? And Flavia, I think 2 to 3 hours is good if you're listening and really focusing, then yeah, it's definitely good. Okay? How to stay motivated in such a world, the madness of this world. That's kind of why I'm doing today's stream. Because I think that when the world is falling apart, the best thing that you can do is do the only thing that you can do. You can't fix everything. You can only fix yourself. So when what's the one of those lyrics? Let's see. There's a famous song from The Police, a band called The Police from the 1980s, and they have the lyrics in these songs. It's called "When the World is Running Down, You Make the Best of What's Still Around," and that's true. So when the world is running down, make the best of whatever you can. And I think the first thing is a better world starts with a better you. A better world starts with a better you. So instead of looking outward at how terrible everything is, look inward and make things better. Okay? Yeah, you can't click any link in HelloTalk. You have to copy the link and paste it into your browser. Okay? Can you share websites where you can study grammar? Yeah, there are. One is this book, Basic English Grammar. Let me find it. Where is it? Nope, that's the wrong link. Wait a minute. Okay, so this is my favorite grammar book that I use to teach. Okay. And then there's a great website that I really like to use for my students to help them practice their grammar and work on their English. And that website is just called games2learnenglish.com. Okay? games2learnenglish.com. All right, let's see. Next question. That's okay, Cheryl. You're learning. Learning often happens through mistakes. Okay? It's okay. All right. Hello again. If the path of your passion is exhausting and not taking you anywhere, will you continue on it or look for something else? That depends, Samira. But Samira, the word passion is an interesting word. The word passion, it comes from the Bible. And in the Bible, there's the story of Jesus and how he suffered, right? How he had to carry the cross, and they put him on the cross, and they made him wear thorns on his head, and they threw stones at him, and they did all these terrible things to Jesus, and he suffered, right? The word passion means you are willing to suffer for this because you love it so much. Okay? So when you tell me if the path of your passion is exhausting and it's not taking you anywhere, will you continue on or not? Passion is about suffering for the thing that you love. And most of the things, if you really want to be great at something, then you need to suffer in order to get to that great point. Almost everybody that I know that is good at something, that's truly good at something, they had to really study intensely to become that. And that takes passion. That takes suffering. You have to be willing to suffer. So, Samira, in English, we have a phrase. Sometimes the juice is not worth the squeeze. Okay? Sometimes you get a lemon or a lime and it's not ripe. So because the lemon or the lime is not ripe, you squeeze it, but nothing comes out. Like only a couple of drops come out. Right? So you're squeezing so hard to try to get anything, but only a little bit is coming out. That's when we say sometimes the juice is not worth the squeeze. So you have to make a decision. Is this worth your suffering or not? And that's a choice that only you can make. Mark, let's see. You have a question. I have a problem with using pronouns like which, who, and whom. Okay, so whom, forget about whom, unless you're taking a test. Okay, if you're taking a grammar test, then there is a rule about whom and, direct objects and indirect objects and all this stuff. But the truth of the matter is most people never use the word whom anymore. And almost every situation where you could say whom, you can also say it another way and just use the word who. Right? Whom were you speaking with? Who were you talking to? So this word whom, I don't think it's going to last too much longer in the English language. I really don't, because it's just not necessary. It's what we call a vestigial appendage. It's not needed anymore. There is no real purpose that makes it necessary. So it could be removed. Now, which and who, those are easier. Who is for for people, and which is for things, right? So which fruit do you want, the banana or the apple, right? Bananas or the apples, which fruit, okay? Or who is calling you? Who's calling you? Okay? So, who and whom, there is a rule. Here, I'll show it to you. Let's see, try this one. Take a look at this. Oh, wait, let me try it again. It's not very clear. There we go. Take a look at this. All right, this is the difference between who and whom. Okay, so this is honestly, though, I hate this explanation. This explanation sometimes does not make it more clear because it doesn't make it clear why it's necessary. Like this says, okay, you use who when it's for the subject of a sentence, right? When the person is the subject of the sentence, you use who. But you use whom for when it's used for the object of the sentence. Whom are you talking to? But again, it's not needed. Why can't you say who are you talking to? We do. We say it all the time, and no one is ever confused. So, this is one that you should learn the rule, because if you take a test, you need to know the rule. But in real life, no one cares. As a matter of fact, most people hate the word whom because nobody knows when to use it properly. So just forget about it in real life. Learn the rule for the test. All right? And there's this tip here. When who is the subject, that's the person who's doing something. Whom is for the object, when that's the person who's receiving the object. So this is like passive and active, right? The boy kicked the ball was kicked by the boy. It's like passive and active, right? So active is who is calling me? Passive is whom are you talking to, right? You are talking to someone else, right? But it's still not needed. So not important. All right? All right. Nah, that ain't it. That's not it at all. You got it all wrong. Nope, not even close. You're way off. Which one would you choose if you... Hi-oh, I missed the second part of your question. Which one would you choose if you wanted to tell the other person they misunderstood you? Hi-oh, I would be very careful with all of the ones that you suggested. All of the ones that you suggested could sound kind of rude. Okay? When you say, if someone is wrong, like, put it this way, I would not say any of those in a classroom. I would not say any of those in a job, at a job. All right? I might say one of those to my close friend because my close friend knows me and won't get upset. Right? So if I'm very close to that person and they say something that's not correct, then maybe I'll be like, nah, that ain't it. But again, that's very informal. Ain't is not proper. Okay? But all of those, the ones that you're saying, those are very strong. The way you're saying it is too strong, Hi-oh. Too strong. And it makes me think that you're focused a little bit too much on common language and not proper language. Those words are not the answer that you should use. If someone says something they misunderstood you, then you should say, I think you misunderstood me. Not, nah, that ain't it. You're trying to say, nah, that ain't it, because that's the cool thing to say. But I don't teach the cool thing to say. I teach the appropriate thing to say. So all of those I would not recommend. You might get in trouble using any one of those. If you said one of those to me, that sounds strong. I might be a little mad, right? So if I misunderstand you and you say, you're way off, you could have just said, I'm sorry, I think you misunderstood me. All right? Language is diplomacy. So when you say things like, nah, that ain't it, you're being very undiplomatic. All right? So, hi-oh, forget about all of those words. And stop trying to sound cool. Try to sound good. All right? Try to sound good, not cool. All right? There's a simple rule about being cool. Do you know what that rule is? It's a very interesting rule. There's a paradox of coolness. As soon as you try to be cool, you are not cool. Coolness happens when you're not trying. Okay? So, if you're trying to be cool by learning words, and you're trying to be cool with language or with fashion, or you're trying to be cool with, what do I think they will like? That's not cool. You're thinking about what they like. That means you're worried about what they think. That's the opposite of cool. Coolness is when you don't care what they think because you're confident in yourself. Okay, that's coolness. To be cool means I'm not affected. I'm me. That's cool. All right? So, and also, hi-oh, if you say those words to me, again, the words you speak, the words you choose, tell people about you. So yeah, how do you want someone to see you? Do you want someone to see you seriously? Do you want someone to listen to you seriously? Here's the thing. If you want someone to take you seriously, then the first thing you must do is you must take yourself seriously. When you begin to take yourself seriously, others will begin to take you seriously. Okay? Okay, let's see. Shadowing practice is better, or whatever you have in mind. Should we go with that? Mona Lisa, shadowing is great if you shadow the right person. I have an article about shadowing, and I will give it to you. One moment. Where is it? There it is. This is my article about shadowing and how to do it properly. Okay, read that article. Miriam, the links work. You have to copy the link and you have to paste the link. You cannot just click the link. Okay, HelloTalk doesn't work that way. Most apps don't work that way. Okay? Good night, Cheryl. Sometimes the juice is not worth the squeeze. That's right. Mary says, I use whom and whose. Whose we use. Whom is not needed. Anything that you could say with whom, you could say with who. It's just true. Okay? Some suffering will end. The whom is out of our minds. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, forget about whom. It's not needed. Don't worry about it. And again, which and whose. Yeah, whose is about a person. Whose glasses are these? Whose phone is this? Right? Which is, which thing do you want? Which burger do you want? Which restaurant do you want to go to? Which place do you want to go to? So which is for things and whose is for people. I see little mistakes by Brazilian speakers like stuffs, I'm think, and ours house. Yeah, those are common. Those are pretty common. Those sound like a usage between friends. Right. But still, even between friends, you should still be careful with your language. You know? Okay, and yeah, again, Miriam, the links do work. You just have to copy the link and paste it and open it up. And then it's a blog, so you have to subscribe to the blog. It's free, but you have to subscribe first. Then you can open the link and read it. All right? Okay, so I am here and we are talking about whatever you need to talk about. All right, so I usually talk about English. I usually talk about learning and language, and we can do that. If you have questions about that, that's fine. But today, I thought we would try something a little bit differently. And I thought maybe we could just talk about what's bothering you, what problems you have, what advice you might want or need. I'm no expert, but I can listen. You know? I'm no expert, but I can listen. So, give me your questions. What do you want advice about? Anything? We do use whose. Yes, whose is different. Whose phone is this? Right? Whose phone is this? Whose keys are these? Right? Yes, whose is okay. I said, my dad is a psychologist. Did you discuss the role of psychology in learning a language with him? I've never talked to him about psychology in language learning specifically, but we've talked about psychology in learning. I think he knows that that's one thing that I do, which gives me an advantage in teaching, is that I think about psychology a lot when I'm teaching. So understanding how to present information to a student becomes easier if you know the psychology of the student. So sometimes teachers, when they present the knowledge to a student, they present the information, the student is like a door and they're locked. And some teachers, they just keep beating on that door. They just keep beating on that door. But if you know how to explain it differently, then you understand their psychology. How do they need to hear this information? It's like being able to have the key to the door, right? So instead of having to knock on the door and pound on the door, you have the key. You can open it up and go inside. Okay, so understanding the psychology of your student makes it a lot easier to present the information to them in the way that they need. Okay? You struggle to understand the American accent. Is it hard for everyone compared to the British one? It depends on the American, and it depends on the Brit. Okay? There are some British people who speak very clearly with a clear British accent. And there are some British people who speak with a Cockney accent that is very unclear with a lot of slang. And in the United States, there are more than 30 different accents. Mine is one of them. Okay? So, many people, they'll say the opposite of you. They say they struggle to understand the British accent. So this is a very personal thing. Okay? Everybody has different ears and they hear things differently. So if the American accent is a little bit harder for you, then maybe the British accent is better for you. That's fine. Okay? You still remember what I said to you? What did I say to you, Dana? How to have more emotional intelligence, not getting attached to other people quickly. Well, you did the first thing. You recognize that you have a problem, right? You recognize that sometimes you get attached too much, too quickly to someone else. And sometimes I think that's natural. I think it's very natural sometimes to kind of lose yourself a little bit because you're so intrigued or interested or you respect and admire someone so much. Okay? So there are some times when getting attached can be a healthy kind of attachment, but there are some times when it's not a healthy kind of attachment, when you lose yourself in someone else. I would say that if you lose yourself in someone else, it means that there's no balance in yourself. You don't have any weight in your own personality. Your persona has no weight. So when you get interested in someone else, all of you goes over there, and none of it is weighted in you. So how can you weight yourself more? You have to know yourself more to have more weight. So, guys, you are your own teacher. You are the student and you are the teacher. So as a teacher, you have to pay attention to yourself and figure out, what am I not learning? What should I be learning? What do I need to work on? What do I need to improve about myself? And I think that when you have enough balance in yourself, that you've invested time in knowing who you are, you've invested time in developing yourself, then you can have interest in someone else and feel like you don't lose yourself because you are weighted. You feel weighted down. Okay? If you have nothing, you have no personality, you have no persona, if you have never worked on yourself, then you are like a dry leaf, and that leaf can blow around in all of those emotional winds. All right? But knowing yourself is like putting a rock on that leaf. Okay? Beginners, how can they start to deal with the fear of speaking? So, Mona Lisa, this one is very simple. Do it again. Do it again. So, Mona Lisa, let me ask you one very simple question. If you do that 100 times, 100 times, do you think you'll feel better? You said you feel nervous now, but if you do it 100 times, do you think it will be better? Yes, you said. Okay, so then you have your answer. Okay? You know what to do. You have to do it more. And then you'll be comfortable. It's very, very simple. I know everybody wants there to be some secret. There's no secret to becoming comfortable. You do it until you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable, keep doing it. You will be. But you haven't done it enough. Okay? How do you find your passion? Miriam, I say, this is my personal quote, curiosity is the smoke of passion. So, passion is like a fire, right? And when you have a fire, there's smoke, right? And if you're far away from that fire, you're far, far away, you can smell that smoke. Where's that smoke coming from? That's your curiosity. You're curious about that smoke. Where is it coming from? I want to know. So you find it. You go look to find that fire. There's the smoke. Where's the fire? That's curiosity. And curiosity is the way you find your passion. Whatever you are most curious about in life, that's something that you probably will be passionate about. Okay? So if you think about something and you have so many questions about it, and you really want to understand it more and know more about it, and it makes you excited, then that's your passion. So you have to find your curiosity to find your passion. Okay? Yes, Dana, we say, fool me once, my bad. Fool me once, your bad. Fool me twice, my bad. So what that means is if you make a mistake one time, that's your fault. That's fine. But if you make a mistake twice, that's my fault because I let you. Okay? However, Dana, in real life, people make mistakes. So in real life, if you throw everybody away after making one mistake, then you won't have any friends because everybody makes mistakes. So you have to learn how to forgive people because people will hurt you. Okay? In my opinion, it's less important whether they hurt you and more important how they hurt you. Did they hurt you intentionally or accidentally? And do they feel regret? If they feel regret, then that matters. If they don't feel regret, then that matters. Okay? Neela says, learning English is a long journey. So, Neela, I have been on Hello Talk for more than 12 years. I have been live streaming here for more than 5 years. My advice is to come and watch and take notes and go to my website and to my YouTube channel and to my blog. Okay? Almost 89,000 people follow me here on Hello Talk. So this is a good place for you to come to learn, okay? Do I need to learn American slang? No, you do not. No. Goodbye, Ling. Okay, you don't feel struggle to understand me. Maury, why don't I take people on the stage? Maury, because I'm teaching right now. Sometimes I do take people on the stage, Maury, but right now I am not because I am busy teaching. Okay? Why are you not asking questions? Okay, let's see. Hello, Ki-Yun. I'm glad, Ki-yun. Good. I'm watching some American TV shows and I struggle with the vocabulary. Is it worth it to focus on it because of the slang? It will not be efficient. Yeah, so YCF, you want to watch TV or movies because they are fun. But that does not mean they're the best way for you to learn. All right? And whatever you are watching, the language that I am speaking now opens almost every door. Almost every door that you need to open in your life, if you use this language, it will open. If you use slang language, many, 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 many doors will not open for that language. Okay? And I promise you, any door that needs to have slang can be opened with proper language. Okay? So that's why I don't bother to teach slang. And the other reason I don't teach slang is because most people who want to learn slang language, they want to learn it because they think, I want to be cool. I want to sound cool like that cool guy on the movie. I am not here to teach you how to be cool. I am here to teach you how to speak English. Okay? Go be cool on your own time. Being cool, trying to be cool, I should say, trying to be cool and learning a language, not related. Okay? Take care, Dana. Yes, I am in America. How can you overcome public speaking fear? Go speak in public. The Persian poet Rumi said, all of your anxiety comes from seeking harmony. Seek disharmony and you will find peace. And he also said, there it is. As you start to walk on the way appears. Clarity does not come before action, it comes from action. So some of you want the answer before you start. No. Start, and then you will find the answer. Okay? Now, public speaking is like riding a bike. You are afraid to ride the bike the first time, but then you ride and you fall and you ride and you fall and you ride and then you stop falling and now you can ride. So how can you overcome public speaking? The same way that you learn to ride a bike. Get on the bike and be willing to fall down. Get in front of people in public and be willing to fall down. Okay? What's my YouTube channel? My YouTube channel is right here. And my website is right here. Oh, nope. Sorry. Wait a minute. What happened to my website? Here's my website. And here is my blog. Yeah, I love Rumi too. I'm a big Rumi fan. When you go to speak with flow, that you forget grammar rules. Okay. So, Mona Lisa, grammar is not language. Language is language. Grammar is it's just the rules of the road. But many people learn how to drive without learning the rules of the road. It's funny, but true. So don't worry too much about your grammar. Worry more about your confidence. Your grammar will improve with time. Okay? I tell everybody that grammar is like the table in your kitchen. You have a table in your kitchen and you clean it every day because you eat there every day. That's just like grammar. You're never finished with grammar, and I don't want you to worry about it, just like you don't worry about your kitchen table. You just clean it a little bit every day. So every day, clean your grammar a little bit. Okay? How can you reach your level to B2? Alpha Diallo. Every level of English is like a neighborhood. And some neighborhoods are small and some neighborhoods are big. So A1 and A2 are pretty small neighborhoods. You can learn that neighborhood quickly. Oh, I know that neighbor, and I know that neighbor, and I know that house, and I know that house. I know all these houses. I know this neighborhood. A1, A2, small neighborhoods, no problem. B1 and B2, those are big neighborhoods. B1 is New York City, and B2 is Tokyo. So how long does it take to learn New York City? How long does it take to learn Tokyo? It's a much bigger place, so it takes longer. All right? Thank you, Romish. Do young British people also use a lot of slang? David, I don't know for sure because I don't speak with a lot of young British people, but I think so, yes. Because why do kids use slang, everybody? Do you know why kids use slang? Why does slang exist? Do you know why? Kind of, yeah, kind of to look cool, but why? It's about power, everybody. Slang language is usually created by who? Whom? Slang language is usually created by whom? No, it's not created by media. Who creates it? Who creates it? Not people on the street, no. Kids. Everybody. Slang is made by young people. Yeah, it's the language of youth. And why do they do that? Because kids don't have any power. When you are young, you have no power. So language gives you power because now you have words that you know that the old people don't know. So now you feel like you have a sense of power, a sense of agency. So this language is a way of telling people that you are not part of my group or you are part of my group. Okay? But that's another reason why I don't teach it, because slang is what we call exclusionary language. It's not for everybody. Slang is supposed to be language that some people are not allowed to speak. You're too old. You can't say that word. All right? All right, next question. Rick just bought a VIP. Well, congrats to you, Rick. That's right. Sometimes starting is more important than doing it perfectly. That's right. And yes, Mary, I do play the drums. What can I say about Shakespeare? I love Shakespeare. This above all, to thine own self be true. I'm a big Shakespeare fan. And Alpha Diallo, if you want to reach B2, you have to reach, man. Reach. Okay? It's like fruit on the tree. The A1 fruit is the easy fruit. You can pick that fruit without reaching. The A2 fruit is easy fruit. You can pick that fruit without reaching. But the B1 and the B2 fruit, they're up higher. You got to reach, man. Okay? So if you want to do that level, then you have to push yourself into that level, right? So are you reading B2 material? Are you doing B2 vocabulary? Are you studying B2 level grammar? Are you listening to B2 level speaking? Right? How to remain happy in life. You can't remain happy. Happiness is not a permanent state of life. Life is hard. Life is terrible most of the time. Around the world, throughout history, most of life is not good. It's hard. Life is very difficult. So you should just know that life is difficult, because if you know that life is difficult, then the moments that you do feel good, you can celebrate. You can celebrate because those are rare moments. Life is not always good. Nobody should think that life is good every single day. It's not, especially if you think about everybody in the world. If you are concerned with more than yourself, then life is not good for everybody. If I wake up today and I had a nice bed and I had nice sleep and I have good food, great, that's for me. But what about everybody? Did everybody wake up in a nice bed with food? Right? So you can't be happy all the time. And you shouldn't, because life is full of emotions and full of colors, and you're supposed to feel them all. Where can you find phrasal verbs? There are many websites that have them. I have a list. I think there's one I have here. Wait a minute. Where did I put that phrasal verbs list? Oh, let me just search it again. Try this one. This is 200 phrasal verbs that you can study. All right? Where does Shanghai rank? I don't know what that means. What do you mean? Okay, so Maury, you said you don't understand English books or even TED speakers on TEDx. I think you mean you do, but you can't understand English movies. English movies use common language. Common language is not the same thing as what we learn. Okay? If you want to understand their words, put the subtitles on. If you want to understand their words, get the transcript. Go online, and every single American movie has a free transcript online. Every single movie in America, you can get all of the words and you can print them out and you can hold them. And now you can make notes. Okay? Now you can make notes. So the truth is, though, most of the time when people come here and they say they want to watch movies to learn English, you don't want to learn English. You want to watch movies. You don't want to learn English. You just want to watch movies. That's it. That's not the same thing as wanting to learn a language. Okay? Okay, let's see. How can you dive into other topics like you? Mona Lisa, how old are you? How old are you? "24. I am 50. So I have had twice the amount of time to learn, twice the amount of time to study, twice the amount of time to think and contemplate and develop myself. So when you're 50, you'll probably sound like me too. All right? All right, let's see. Aichata, you struggle to translate. You're translating your native language. Then you need to read this article that I wrote. Okay, read this article about how to think in English. If you can think in English, then you can speak it comfortably. But if you can't think it comfortably, then you can't speak it comfortably. Hello, Belen. It is of my inquisition to ascertain the origins of alas. Alas is an old word that we very rarely use anymore. But it originally was French, and in French they said hélas, which meant unfortunately, or it was like unfortunately, like, yeah, it means to be tired, actually. It's kind of funny. The word alas actually means to be tired. Like, like you're sighing. That's what alas means. Alas is a word that basically means you're kind of saying, unfortunately, something. Okay? Next question. You saw me on YouTube playing drums. The vibe changed. Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay. Yeah, I'm different when I play drums. How to live a life. One step at a time. What's the purpose of life? Many people say, what's the meaning of life? What's the purpose of life? The purpose of life is to give life purpose. The meaning of life is to give life meaning. Stop looking for the meaning and just give it meaning. Give life meaning. If life has no meaning, it's because you gave it none. You gave it no life. Okay? The purpose of life is to give life purpose. If I become a billionaire, will I be happier? No. And LA, I think you're trying very hard to use very elevated language, but it's not working, LA. You're saying you ought to engender that purpose. It's not correct. You don't need are when you say you ought. You ought to engender that purpose. But saying you ought to engender that purpose is very awkward. It does not sound... it doesn't sound fluent, and it doesn't sound natural. All right? Let me give you a very simple rule about language. Simple words used well are always better than complicated words used poorly. Please repeat after me. Simple words used well are always better than complicated words used poorly. Okay? So you said you're an existentialist. Okay, but LA, Nike said, just do it. Just do it. That's existential, but it is simple. So existentialism has nothing to do with complexity. You can speak existentially with simple language. Do you exist? Are you here? That's existential language. It's simple, though. And remember, Alay, the purpose of language is to communicate, which means your words always should be serving the purpose of making things more clear. If your words are making things less clear, then your words are not working. Okay? So don't try to use complicated words just to use complicated words. Express yourself in the simplest way you can whenever possible. Okay? It's easy to use complex words is actually not hard. Explaining difficult things with simple language is much more difficult. Okay? All right. Hello, Waleed. Thank you, Romish. I was an ocean of love. He feared the water, yet he sailed across me to find his shore on me. That's pretty. I like that, Priya. That's great. Good for you. Hollywood movies are works to make America great? No, Hollywood movies are just movies. Hollywood movies are just movies. A lot of Hollywood movies are just garbage. I don't go see most movies. I have not seen a new movie in quite some time. No, that's not true. I just watched one new movie just the other day. But I rarely go see most movies because most things are not good. Did you not know that? Hello, welcome to Earth. On Earth, most things are not good. Some things are good, but many are not. So, of all the books in the world, are all the books in the world good? No. Most of them are not good, but some of them are very good. Most movies are not good. A few of them are good. All right? So, are movies made to make America great again? No. As a matter of fact, many of them probably do the opposite. All right. How to take advantage of AI. Maury, treat AI like you have a teacher with you all the time. Ask the teacher questions. Engage. Use your curiosity and keep asking. The problem that I see, most of the problem is when people use AI, they ask a question and they get an answer and then they're done. That is why you don't know what you're doing. Why are you done? Why did you just accept the answer? Why didn't you ask? How did you get this answer? Can you show me how you got this answer? Can you tell me why this is true? Or can you tell me what are the effects or the purposes or the reasons or the causes of this thing? You don't ask more, so you don't get more. So how can you use AI well? Be curious and use it like you are not satisfied with anything it says, ever. Don't be satisfied with any answer. then you'll get the right answer. All right? Okay, so Fabio says, what can I do to learn or can I improve my English? You've been studying by myself. Fabio, again, everybody, if you are new, my name is Teacher Mark. I have been on Hello Talk for more than 12 years, and I have been teaching English since 2009. I am a TEFL certified teacher. I have, I've done more than 1,300 live streams here on Hello Talk, and about 89,000 people follow me, and more than 1 million people have watched me here on Hello Talk. So, if you want to learn, come and watch. If you want to learn, follow my YouTube here. Check out my website here, and check out my blog here. Okay? You merely adore sophistication. Yes, but Elay, sophistication takes time. Nothing that's new is sophisticated. To develop sophistication takes time, man. So you can't skip the time. Okay? It's like wine, right? New wine is not valuable because it's new. How do we get that sophisticated flavor? Time. Okay? So, babies are not sophisticated because they're new. All right? So, you must learn to crawl before you can walk. And you must learn to walk before you can run. Okay? You can tell I'm a man of integrity. I try. I try. It's difficult. Integrity is a job that never ends. Existential language, what does it mean? What's the best example? Existential language is it's language talking about existence. Do you exist? Are you sure? How do you know that you exist? You can start, Waleed, you can start by do a search online or ask ChatGPT to teach you about Rene Descartes. Rene Descartes was the father of modern existentialism. He created the thing that we call the evil genie theory. He came up with this idea that how do you know that this is real? You don't know. You have no way to know that this is real. This could be a computer simulation. He said the evil genie. It basically means he used to think that, maybe it's like some magic that's being used to make you think all of this is real, right? So existentialism is about understanding how do you know that you know? How do you know that it's real? How do you know that we exist? That's existentialism, and it begins with Rene Descartes. In science, there is also such an understanding. A bad scientist is one who cannot explain complex things in simple words. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You have to be able to understand it. And understanding it means you need to know it in its simplest form and its most complex form. Understanding means understanding it in the basic and in the advanced method. Right? So you can't just understand it with one. You need to have a full, complete understanding. Okay? You want to move from your country. Oh, I don't know, Maury. I can't tell you where to go for English literature. You can go to England. But I can't tell you where to go. But, you know, you don't need to go anywhere to learn anything. You can stay right where you are and learn everything now. Mona Lisa, I don't think I understand your question about what are you asking about simple past tense and where you can use it properly? You don't know where to use simple past? Junior, hello, Junior. Junior, I never do that. Okay? I'm not here just to practice with people. I am a teacher, Junior. So I'm not here just to chat. I'm here to teach. So you should ask me questions. You should usually pay a teacher, right? You normally have to pay a teacher, but you don't have to pay me when I'm here. So ask me questions, okay? Yes, English is my first language. Hello, Lou. How are you? Do I offer group classes? I do not have group classes. I have one-on-one classes, Lou, but not group. I tried to do group classes. I thought that group classes would be very popular, but nobody signed up. Nobody signed up, so I quit. I stopped doing it. But I was doing group classes a long while ago. Okay, and Vapins says, how can you improve your English speaking level? Everybody, the one big secret that I tell everyone here, and it's the big reason why I have so many followers, is because the secret of speaking a language well is if you can think that language well. If you cannot think that language well, then you cannot speak that language well. And all of you say, I can't practice English because I live in a country where they don't speak English. Every day I hear that. I can't practice English because they don't speak English here. Yeah, we know. We know. Everyone knows. Okay? So then what can you do? If you can't practice speaking, then what can you do? You can practice thinking. Why can't you do that? What's wrong with that? Why can't you think? Why do you need someone else to practice? Just think in English, okay? But you need speaking. Yes, Junior, you're right, you do, okay? And there are ways that you can try to find people to practice with, Junior. So, for example, HelloTalk. There are people on HelloTalk, but, Junior, HelloTalk is just an app where you meet people, regular people. They are not teachers like me. They're just regular people. And they're busy people. They have families and jobs and lives. So, if you want to find a partner on HelloTalk, you must first develop a friendship. Only a friend will help you. So first, you must find somebody that you can make a friendship with. Then, after you make a friendship, then you can say, hey, we're friends now, right? So can you help me a little bit with my English, please? The problem is, you all go and you ask strangers to help you. You're saying, hey, I don't know you, but can you please help me with English? Can you teach me English? I have no idea who you are, but please teach me English. That doesn't work. Okay? First, you must make a friend. All right? But I tell everybody, if you want to practice speaking, you can find natives where you live. You have to go to a city where they have people and find the American food. If you find the American food, you will find the American. Okay? So if you live in a place that has a restaurant that makes a good burger, go there on a Saturday and you will find some Americans. Okay? If you find the food, you will find the foreigner. If I want to find Greek people, I go to a Greek restaurant. If I want to find Chinese people, I go to a Chinese restaurant. If I want to find French people, I go to a French restaurant. It's easy. Okay? So, you can find people in your city, or you can practice. There are 4 ways to practice speaking. 1, try to find a native speaker to practice with in your city. 2, find a non-native speaker, somebody like you. Junior, is there somebody like you who lives near you? Another Brazilian guy who wants to practice his English. You can practice together. And you're going to say, I know what you're going to say, Junior. You're going to say, but I want to practice with a native because maybe if I practice with this guy, his English is not good. All right, maybe. But, Junior, maybe his grammar is better than yours. Maybe your vocabulary is better than his. You can help each other. Don't let perfect be the don't let good be the enemy of perfect. Okay? So perfect is great. Wonderful. Everybody wants perfect. But guess what? Sometimes you can't get perfect. Sometimes good is good enough. All right? So talk to somebody who's a non-native and practice with them. And if you can't find somebody to practice with, then the next step is find somebody who knows nothing about English and teach them what you know. Okay? And if you can't find that, then just talk to yourself. Talk to the TV when you watch TV. Talk to the mirror. Talk to your phone. Talk to your dog. Talk to your cat. Okay? But the truth is, the thinking part is the part that's more important. Okay? Why did people create AI to lose all their jobs? Geck, I can't answer that. Because business is stupid. Business is stupid. Business does not do anything because it's the right thing. Business does not do anything because it's smart. Business does not do anything based on anything except business. Business is only about business. It's not about doing the right thing, ever. I noticed that the different sentence structure in English compared to my native language probably influences the different something. Yes, that's true, Valeri. Like, again, different sentence structure. You have to pay attention. What is the sentence structure like in my language versus English? And how are they different? Okay? You spent time on your English 3 to 4 hours. So, Mona Lisa, please go read the articles that I gave you earlier. Read those 3 articles, and then, Mona Lisa, come and watch me for a week or 2 and listen to my tips, okay? And then you'll know what's the correct way, okay? Yeah, Lou, same thing. Lou and Mona Lisa, both of you are new, okay? If you come here and watch me for a week or two, you will start to get a better idea about what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. I cannot answer all of it today. All right? I can't give you everything today. But if you watch me for a week or two, I promise you, you will hear many tips about how to study better or how to learn better or other ways to do things, all right? How to get to C1. You're stuck at B2. B2 is a big place. It's normal to be stuck in B2 because it's a very far distance to travel, okay? So, Lynn, right now, you're driving in the car, but it's a far distance, very, very far to go, right? And you've got the kids in the back seat, and the kids are saying, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet, Mom? Are we there yet?" Okay? That's like going from B2 to C1. B2 is a big place, and C1 is far away. All right? So it takes a long time. Sometimes people think I'm not making progress, but you are making progress. It's just a very far distance. Understand? Sometimes when the distance is so far, it feels like you're not making progress, but you are. Okay? Okay, so I am here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Monday through Friday. Okay? Sometimes I'm busy, sometimes I'm sick, sometimes I'm tired or just need a break, right? But not very often. I'm usually here. All right? I have a website here. Here is my website. On my website, you can buy private lessons from me. If you want to buy private lessons from me, you can. It's not free. Okay? I have been teaching here for 2 hours for free. But if you take private lessons from me, you have to pay me. All right? That's normal, right? And on my website, you can also study English. On my website, I have many, many, many free resources to study English. Grammar, vocabulary, reading, writing, listening, speaking. They're all there. Okay? Ina, rude much? Ina? Rude much? Do you have a problem, Ina? Что? So Monday through Friday, that's when I'm here. Okay? And I am a real teacher. Oh, what time? So I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. This is the same time as New York City. Okay? New York City time. And I usually start here in the morning. In the morning. So 9:30 or 10:30 in the morning. Okay? 9:30 or 10:30 in the morning, that's about the time that I start my live stream. Okay? Sometimes it's 9:30, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 10:30. All right? Okay. You use an extension on YouTube called Language Reactor. It's free and very helpful. It shows translation and pronunciation of words. Okay, if that helps you, then that's good. Then use it. Let's go step by step, but C1 is just there. It never moves. I'm telling you, Zane, C1 is hard to get to. B2 is a lot of information. And most language exists in the B1 and B2 neighborhood. All right? So almost everything that you need to say is in the B1, B2 neighborhood. Almost everything that I say here, almost every word that I use is in the B1 and B2 neighborhood. Okay? Those are in the B1, B2 neighborhoods. Okay? You often ponder the origin of languages. Yeah, it's really fascinating to think about, and there are a lot of great books to read about with them. Okay? All right. So, I know many people are like, why don't you put anybody on stage? Why don't you talk to anybody? Because I don't want to. I am here because I want to teach. Okay? So, if you have questions, then ask me your questions. Mona Lisa, if you have questions, then ask, and I will try to answer them. But many people come here, guys. I have been on Hello Talk for 12 years. Everybody wants to talk to me. Everybody wants to just chat. Everybody wants to practice their language. But that is not a good use of my time. That's not a good use of my time. Chatting with you is not a good use of my time. Okay? What is a good use of my time is answering your questions and trying to teach you. And that is what I am doing here. Oh, and look, I forgot about my YouTube people. Hello, Maria. Hello, is it Tanisha? Hello, Miguel. Hello, Mike. And hello, Evanella. Wow, I'm so surprised that it took that long. It took an hour and 47 minutes before somebody mentioned my haircut. I got a haircut yesterday, but it took an hour and 45 minutes before somebody mentioned it. That's funny. Let me check my comments here. The first time here, you love my live stream. Thank you, Jocelyn. Kind of should we listen to and watch? Content. What kind of content should we listen to and watch? Mona Lisa, you should listen to content with good speakers. Okay? So when you go to YouTube or TikTok or whatever you're using, don't just listen to anyone. Listen to the best. Okay? So if you are learning to play a musical instrument like the piano, when you learn to play the piano, your piano teacher, they don't tell you, hey, you should go on YouTube and listen to anybody who plays piano. Listen to everybody who plays piano on YouTube. No. The teacher tells you, go find the best on YouTube and listen to them. Don't just listen to anyone. Listen to the best. So, that's the number one piece of information, the advice that I give about listening practice. The biggest mistake that you make is that you're listening to the wrong people. You are listening to someone who doesn't speak well. They speak okay. All right? Find people who care about the way they speak and listen to them. All right? Your models should be models. Right? Why do we call someone a model? Why do we call them a model? Are they average? If they're a model, are they average? No. They are the perfect thing. They're the best. They're the model. So you should be following good models, not just some guy or just some girl. All right? How can you know if the person is better? Vanu, when you hear me speak, what do you feel? When you hear me speak, how do you feel? What do you think? I have airs of Brendan Fraser. All right, I'll take that. He's a nice guy. I guess that means I'm getting fat. So you said my answers are wise. You feel the wisdom of my life. You can listen perfectly with clear pronunciation. Okay, so let me make it easier for you. I am a musician. I'm a drummer. Okay, I play the drums. And sometimes I go to a music store, and when I'm in the music store, I'll hear somebody playing guitar. And they are so good. It sounds so good that I feel like I need to listen to them more, like I want to listen to them more. And I even want to play drums with them because what they're doing sounds so good. It sounds so musical. So that is what you should be looking for. If you hear somebody and when they speak, you think, man, I want to hear more from this person. I want to hear more of what they have to say. I want to hear more of this. I want to talk to them. That's how you know. If you find somebody that makes you feel that way, that's how you know if they're good. All right? Oh man, I'm getting tired, everybody. I think I'm going to try to finish up here. Let me see if I can just wrap up a few more questions. You have a problem with memorizing vocabulary. So, Junior, I have an article about vocabulary that I want you to read. And if you come watch me regularly, I often teach about vocabulary on my live streams. One of the ways that I teach vocabulary is I teach about the history of the words. Where did the words come from, and what did they originally mean a long time ago? Memorizing is boring. That's why you forget. The way that I teach vocabulary is more interesting. It's a little more work, but it's much more interesting, so it's much easier to remember. Okay? So follow me, and then here's this article about vocabulary. Let me give you my vocabulary article. You need a good system to learn vocabulary. All right? You used to create sentences with the new words you learned. So that is a good way, Lou, but let me give you another tip about that. When you learn a new word, yes, you can you can use a sentence, right? Make a sentence with that new word, right? But I want you to make two sentences. I want you to make one sentence that's a normal sentence, right? Just a regular sentence. So I always tell people the example I use is, what if you're learning the word microphone, right? Microphone is your word. So I could make a simple sentence and I could say, I bought a new microphone today. All right, that works. It's a simple sentence. It's correct. Okay, but it's boring. But now I'm going to make another sentence, a second sentence, and this one I'm going to say, I hit my brother in the face with my new expensive microphone. I hit my brother in the face with my new expensive microphone. Now, you'll remember that. Why? Why will you remember that? Anyone? It creates an image. It's funny. That's right. That's the point. I want you to make a funny, weird, strange image. That is something your brain will remember. Okay, I call this is my theory that I call the big pink elephant hat theory. So if I am in your city and I am walking down the street and you're walking down the street and you see me and I see you, but I'm dressed normally, I have normal clothes on, and we don't wave to each other or anything. So are you going to remember me? No, you will not remember me because I'm dressed normally and it was just too normal. But what if I'm walking down the street and I have a big pink elephant hat? It's a big pink elephant on my head. Will you remember me? Yeah. So that is a trick that you can use. Your brain remembers funny. Your brain remembers weird. Your brain remembers different. So give it that. Give it that. Okay? Give it something funny. Give it something weird to remember. All right? That's one memory trick that you can use. Okay? All right, guys, I am getting tired. My voice is getting a little bit weak here. I've been talking for 2 hours here now. Hello, Brian. I look like Stephen Baldwin or Russell Crowe. All right. Yeah, I think there have been a couple of people who have mentioned the Baldwin boys once or twice to me before, which I don't really get that either, but whatever. Anyway, Ria Sharma says, I have a problem with accent. Can I help? I can try to help. If you are from India, listen to me now. I'm going to tell you a few things that will help you with your pronunciation. Most of the languages in India, Hindi, Telugu, all of those languages, they have a small mouth. When you speak those languages, it's a small mouth. But look at my mouth. How does my mouth move? It's big. It's open. That is why I am clear when I speak. Okay? If you use English with a small mouth, now, all of your sounds are the same because your mouth is the same. Your mouth never changes. It's all right here. But if you move your mouth in different positions, then everything sounds more clear. So, for people from China and people from India, you need to practice the vowels. A-E-I-O-U. A-E-I-O-U. And for the short vowels, A, E, I, O, U. Look how big. Look how big. A, E, I, O, U. Big. Different. Right? So if your mouth is not moving enough, then all of the sounds are the same. When you learn a language, you need to learn the vocabulary and you need to learn the grammar and you need to learn the pronunciation. But the pronunciation is about how you move your mouth. So you need to think about how do you move your mouth. Every language you must change the way you move your mouth. Okay? Sometimes it looks unnatural, yeah, and sometimes it will be tiring. It will hurt. Your face, do you know how many muscles you have in your face? You have a lot of muscles in your face. Muscles in your face are used to show emotion, right? So we have many, many muscles that are very subtle. So when you practice a language, when you learn a new language, yeah, you have to exaggerate. And it is tiring. And your mouth will hurt a little bit. You'll be like, oh, Oh, my mouth, my jaw hurts. If you're doing that, then you're doing it right. Okay? You're doing it right if that's what's happening. Okay? Okay. What about words live further more that are not nouns? What about them, Junior? I don't know what you mean. What's the question? What about them? Why do you understand me? You understand me because it's my job. I am an English teacher. Of course, you should understand the English teacher. That is my job. Okay? What's the difference between big and great? Sky 有时候就是差不多的意思，可是有时候 big 就是大的 great 就是很棒的 right? Like, oh, great, this is amazing. This movie was great. It was great. It was 很厉害，很棒 okay? So great has other meanings, okay? It can be wonderful, all right? And yes, you must listen to people with good articulation. That's correct. My energy is still very high. Yeah, you know, I mean my voice is getting tired, but I have energy. I have energy. What about the Senegalese accent? I'm not familiar enough with that accent, Asnur, so I can't give you any tips because I haven't spoken to enough people from Senegal to make that. I have spoken to many people from India and many people from China, so I have become familiar with the way they speak. But I'm not familiar enough with the way people in Senegal speak, okay? When I speak English a lot, my throat starts to hurt a bit. Is there a specific breathing technique? Kiyun, probably not. Probably you just need to take a break, just like me. Your voice is a muscle. You can do too much. You can overwork it. Okay? So sometimes you need to take a break. Okay? What about the accent? What about the accent? What about it? Sometimes you find it hard to understand your African American brothers. Okay, so again, Waleed, you're not going to understand everyone. You're not, okay? And if you're trying to understand somebody who speaks with an African American, maybe an Ebonic urban accent, it's going to be harder. And I would say the first thing you should do is tell them. The first thing you should do is say, I really want to know how you speak. I want to understand how you speak. But I have trouble. I'm learning. So please just remember that I'm still learning. That's all. Okay? That's the first thing you have to do is you have to tell somebody, I like the way you speak. I would like to learn it, but I don't understand it right now. So please remember that. Okay? All right. How can you retrieve advanced vocabulary easily while speaking without using filler words? So, Cheerful, you should use the vocabulary that's the right vocabulary. You should never choose a word just because it's difficult. No. Let me think of the best way to say this. Wait a minute. Cheerful, when you're trying to express yourself, you're trying to make a song. You're trying to make a melody, all right? And when you're trying to make a melody, it's not about it being difficult. It's not about it being complex. It's about sounding good. It's about making someone feel something, right? So when you try to just use a word because you know it, that's when you know you're not using it right. This is another lesson. Musicians learn this. Cheerful musicians learn this, right? So I remember when I was younger and I was practicing my drums and I would practice all the most difficult things, right? I'd practice all these really difficult ideas, right? And then I would play a song with my band. I'm in the band, I'm playing the music with my friends, right? And now I want to use this idea that I learned, right? I want to force it. I'm going to make it go in there. I'm going to make this idea fit in the music. That's wrong. Every musician, we learn that. No, when the song is playing, you have to respond to the music with what it needs, not just what you learned. You can't just take what you learned and go, oh, I learned this thing, I'm going to force it in here. Get in there. Get in there. I'm going to use that. No. You have to use the words that fit. You have to use the words that work. Okay? And there's a good rule that's true in music and true in language. This is a very important rule. Please listen. Simple words spoken well are always better than complicated words spoken poorly. Simple words spoken well are always better than complicated words spoken poorly. Okay? So some of the greatest words in the world are simple, right? Some of the most beautiful words are just simple words. So don't try to use a complicated word. Try to use the word that speaks to you. Try to use the word that you think will speak to everyone. Okay? Now, on the other hand, Cheerful, maybe I am playing in a band that is an advanced kind of music, right? We're playing a music that's a very advanced kind of music. So in that advanced music, maybe that is appropriate to use because that's the word, that's the language you should use in that advanced music. You should use advanced language, right? So if I'm speaking to my professor, then I should use the language that works for that, right? But if I'm speaking with my good friend, then I should use that language. What if I'm teaching a class of children? What if I'm teaching a class of 9-year-olds? Can I talk about pragmatics? No, right. So every teacher becomes a better teacher when they teach children. Because when you teach children, you must remember they don't know anything. So you have to speak in a way that they can understand. You need to make the most complicated things simple. Okay? So, can I speak with big words? Yes. Yes, I can. But I only do when it's appropriate. I don't just come here and start using big words for no reason. That would be ego. That would only be ego. There are some people who use big words because they want you to be impressed. Like, I'm so smart. You know? I'm so erudite. Okay? But no. Language is music, guys. Language is music. You're supposed to be making beautiful music with your words. Make words that speak to people. Make words that hit you. Make words that make you go, oh. Don't make words that make you go, huh? All right? How to practice them in the context. This is why it's important to listen and read. Okay? Listen to TED Talks. Listen to advanced conversations with advanced people doing advanced things. Right? Scientific American. scientificamerican.com. You can go there. It's a free website. It has advanced Band 8 reading. Band 8 reading. Okay? So, to know the context, you must be familiar with different contexts. If I want to play jazz music, I have to listen to it first. How can I play it if I've never heard it? Okay? scientificamerican.com. scientificamerican.com. Okay? All right, how to practice them. Yes, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. When do I think it's appropriate to use difficult or advanced vocabulary? Again, Kiyun, it depends on the situation. If I'm in a college course speaking with college level people, then maybe I will use that academic level language. If I'm in a business meeting and we're discussing business, I will use that language, business English, in that situation, right? This is called code switching. Everybody, code switching. It's a psychological, sociological term. Okay? Everybody changes the way they speak depending on who you're speaking to. So when you speak to your parents, you speak one way. When you speak to your friends, you speak another way. When you speak to your boss, you speak another way. That is called code switching. And that is why you need different language for different places. Okay? scientificamerican.com. Yeah, that website has great articles to read. Okay? Yes, that's it. Code switching, Vicky. You can look it up and read about it. Okay? Tomorrow I have an English interview face-to-face. Maybe I should prepare some professional words about my skills. Zane, you have an interview face-to-face for what? For a job? Or for a school? Or for what? What's your interview for? You are welcome, Cheerful. You are welcome, Kiyun. What is your interview for? Interviews, oh, IT, so it's a job. So, Zane, interviews are about one thing. Interviews are about confidence. Okay? When you go to an interview, you're looking at somebody, the boss, he has a problem. He has a problem and he needs a solution. You must look like the solution. You cannot look like another problem. That is the secret to any interview. When you go to an interview, you have to look like, you have a problem? Oh, I can help you with that. I can do that. I would love to help you with that problem. Please, let me help you. I really want to. Okay? If they ask you, can you do this job? And you say, I think I can do this job. I mean, I can try. I'll give it my best shot. No, that looks like you are another problem. They already have one problem. They don't need another problem. So when you go to an interview, don't use big words. Use the words that you feel comfortable using, because the comfortable words will make you look confident. Okay? The comfortable words will make you look confident. And if you look confident, you'll get the job. Okay? Honestly, that's really the secret. I feel pretty good going into any interview anymore. Okay? And by the way, the other thing you can do is, if you are not good at interviews, then you should practice interviews. So go do an interview for a job that you don't want. Find an interview for any job, a job that you don't even want, and just go do the interview. That's practice. If you don't even care, then you won't be nervous. And you know what? You can go do an interview for a job that you really, really want, but you think you won't get. Go do that interview. Who knows? Maybe you get the job. Maybe you get the job. Okay? But if not, then you got experience doing an interview. All right? And if it was for a big job and you went and you did that interview, okay, that was for a big job. Now you can go to your interview. You'll feel fine. You already did a much bigger interview. Okay? Okay. So, guys, I do have to go because it's time for me to go now. I have something to go do in a few minutes. So, and I'm hungry. So I'm going to go now. And I have been here for 2 hours and 18 minutes today. Here is my YouTube channel. This is on YouTube. So when I'm finished here on Hello Talk, this will be uploaded to YouTube. You can watch it again. All right? If you missed something, or if you want to hear my words again, go watch it again. All right? And I have a website, and I also have a blog. And my blog is where you're going to find my best answers. Okay? My best answers about everything are on my blog. Okay? Now, maybe some of the things in my blog are a little hard for you to understand. Maybe it's a little hard. If it is, then you should copy it and use ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT, please help me understand this article. It's a little hard for me. It will. Talk about it with ChatGPT. Talk about the article. You will understand it. Okay? Okay. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in the morning, New York City time. And I will be back tomorrow. Actually, I'll probably be back later today to practice some drums. Sometimes when I'm here, most of the time when I'm here teaching, right? But sometimes I go back behind my drums and I play music for me because I like to. Okay? So, if you like my teaching, I'm glad. Good. But you have to take all of me. You have to take all of me, right? So sometimes I'm playing music, and that's when you just listen, all right? You just listen and watch and enjoy, all right? But if I'm here in front of the camera, then I'm teaching, all right? Hello, Gaia. Do I know after cooking? I don't know what you mean by that, Cheerful. Is that a book or something? After cooking? What? Oh, he makes music by using dishes. No, but that's cool. That's how I started playing drums when I was like 3 years old. I used to beat on the pots and pans. All right, Vicky, I'm glad that you thought it has lots of wisdom. Good. I'm glad. You are welcome. So I'll be back probably later to play some music, and then I'll be back tomorrow to teach more, okay? Thank you, Kiyun. I'm glad. You're welcome. And have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening wherever you live. Oh, wait, there's a question over here. You ate some salmon. What? I'm not sure what all this is over in my YouTube channel. Is it Abiodun? Abiodun. I don't know what you're asking me, Abiodun. I'm sorry, but I don't understand your questions. So come back and try to ask me again next time, okay? Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon.